Alright, let me ask you something. Have you ever watched a show so wild, so unapologetically violent, that you're left wondering why it didn't blow up? That's exactly what happened with That Dirty Black Bag, a western that felt like it was made for a different era, yet somehow missed its moment. And honestly, I think that's a tragedy. Let me break down why this show deserves a second season, even if it feels like it's from another planet. Here's the thing, westerns have always been about extremes. Think of Lee Van Cleef staring down a villain with a smirk, or Clint Eastwood riding into town with a guitar slung over his shoulder. But That Dirty Black Bag takes that formula and cranks it up to 11. Imagine a bounty hunter who doesn't just kill his targets, he beheads them and stuffs their heads into a bag. And not for some poetic reason, either. He says it's because a head weighs less than a body. That's not just dark humor, that's a character who's fully embraced the absurdity of the genre. And personally, I think that's what makes it so fascinating. It's like the show is saying, we are not here to sugarcoat it. This is the West, and it's brutal. Now, let's talk about the creators. Mauro Arrigoni, Silvio Bruhl, and Marcelo Izzo were basically unknowns when they made this show. I mean, Arrigoni had directed short films, and Izzo had worked as an assistant director. But they took a gamble by making a spaghetti western-inspired series that wasn't just a homage, it was a reinvention. They filmed in Italy, Spain, and Morocco, which already gives it that old-school vibe, but they also added modern twists. Like the torture scene where a man is forced to eat his own horse. That's not just shock value, that's a statement. It's saying, we are not here to please everyone. We are here to push boundaries. And I think that's what critics loved. The show got an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, and every review I read was glowing. But here's the kicker, it didn't resonate with enough people to get a second season. That's the real mystery. What makes this even more frustrating is that the show wasn't just violent, it was smart. The characters had layers. Dominic Cooper's sheriff isn't just a tough guy, he's someone who's still haunted by his past. And Douglas Booth's headhunter. He's not just a monster, he's a product of a world where violence is currency. The show didn't just copy spaghetti westerns, it updated them. It took the carnival-like tone of Sergio Leone's films, and mixed it with streaming-age drama. But here's what I think the problem was. It was too much for the average viewer. You can't just drop a show that's equal parts gruesome and playful, and expect everyone to embrace it. It's like trying to sell a gourmet meal at a fast food counter. It's not that the food isn't good, it's just not what people expect. And let's be real, the Western genre is in a weird place right now. We've got Yellowstone dominating the airwaves, and shows like The Mandalorian trying to cash in on the frontier spirit. But That Dirty Black Bag wasn't trying to be a prestige drama, or a family-friendly adventure. It was raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic. That's what makes it so underrated. It's not for everyone, but for those who appreciate the grit and the chaos, it's a gem. So here's my question. What if we are missing out on something special because we are too focused on what's popular? I mean, if this show had gotten a second season, imagine where it could have gone. Maybe the headhunter's backstory would have been explored. Maybe the sheriff's past would have unraveled in a way that made us question who the real villain was. But instead, we are left with 8 episodes that feel like a tease. And honestly, that's a shame. Because if there's one thing I've learned from watching obscure shows like this, it's that sometimes the best stories are the ones that get buried. So if you haven't seen it yet, I'd say give it a shot. And if you have, I'm curious, what do you think the show could have become if it had another chance?